How are you now? It's Jumping Jim Whelan here. Uh, who have started that amazingly well. Welcome to the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast. I'm your host, James Whelan, occasional talking head for smallcaps.com.au, for Investor Pulse, for Invest House, for a bunch of things. It's a wonderful little accumulation that we've got. I'm joined here by good colleague and good mate, Heath Moss of HLM Investments. Heath, how are you now?
Good morning. Very well. Regular talking head for HLM Investments. So, very well, mate. Been a very hectic week for myself. I've got some renovations being done at home in the bathroom and the ensuite. So that sort of throws the whole house in chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably see got a little bit of growth happening here. That's because we've got no bloody mirrors anywhere. So I
Vampire.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the mirrors were taken down, and we've packed the other ones, the makeup ones, and that away. So I don't know where they are. So, but it should all be resolved today. So, bit of fuzz doesn't hurt anyone. But it's been hectic, but good, busy. Markets are certainly keeping things interesting.
Yeah.
Kids sick last night, so it's all happening. That's all
Now,
happening.
there's a bit going on. I just realised I just realised that my boat license may have expired. I need to go and check that. Okay. Well, yeah, no, there's a few things going on. First off, happy March Madness to everyone who celebrates.
Mm.
Started theoretically, the first four started yesterday. I got my bracket in. I think BYU to win the entire thing in a massive upset. Heath, did you get your bracket in?
No, I didn't. I
Thanks,
didn't.
bro.
Just didn't have time.
Thanks for your support, man. It's like 3 buttons. Seriously, you just go auto press and in, and it's it. Okay.
I'd expect what's the face Duke to win it all. They were pretty strong.
Duke's favourite to win it. Yeah.
Strong lineup. So
Yeah. The Blue
with
Devils.
is it Boozer? Yeah, Boozer's their leading man, or is it Peterson? I can't remember. But one of them. So yeah, I know. Sorry for the lack of support. I just didn't have time, mate. I've been one of those weeks, mate.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not the same. It has been one of those weeks. I've had talking a bit of shop at the moment. Some clients that were set to go, get started in the market, do some things, and all have held back. It's just been a very interesting, skittish feel to it, which is fine because you're dealing with people's money, right? So you can't force them, but you've got to sort of talk to people about talking from an advisory side of things. And the points that I made was that, well, obviously markets usually do go up over any 10-year period, start to finish in the S&P 500, you're going to be up. The other one is that usually the best time to invest in a conflict and a crisis is 30 days in, but on average, which we are almost coming up on. So get yourself set for that. And then another one, which is just based on markets having uncertainty. As soon as there's some certainty behind it, the market will immediately, markets are discounting machines. The markets will value it in, factor it in, and move on, as they always do, just with the new numbers that's there. So there are those conversations to be had. If I've always got the theory, if someone doesn't really feel right about investing into that market, you've got to protect that, and you've got to handhold them with that and do the best you can. You can't go out there and try and drag it out of them and force them into it against or try too hard to convince them. If someone really doesn't
Yeah,
want to be in it, then don't.
exactly. Yeah, I set up a new portfolio this week. And the clients were more than happy to jump in. My whole theory is obviously you can never pick your tops or bottoms. And I mean, it's time in. I've always believed it's time in the market rather than timing the market. If you're always waiting for the bottom or waiting for a correction or something, you tend to miss out. You miss out on those gains and that compounding effect, etc. So, yeah, my clients were fairly happy to get in. I mean, I've found with some clients that are a little bit skittish, you don't go all in. Maybe you put a quarter of a position in, and then the next week or so, is another good strategy. But I can understand how some people would be very skittish at the moment because you read the headlines and you'd think World War III was starting. So
Well, it might be. And shout out to Trump for now calling everyone to come and help keep the straight. It's just like, mate, we didn't want to be a part of this to begin with. Why are you now trying to drag us into this stuff? And it was Latika Burke, and shout out to her. I'll make sure that she gets tipped on this thing. Shout out to Latika that she asked the question of I don't know who the European person was. He's someone with ECB minister who said, if Trump is asking you to do this and help with Iran, then go back. Why not just go back and say, this is what we want you to do with Ukraine to sort this one out? Like,
yeah, fair enough.
there's
Yeah,
here's we can just pull people into wars and just go and get set. If you want us to finish the Iranian thing or help finish the Iranian thing, help finish the Ukrainian thing. That's been going on for ages.
yeah, yeah.
Good. My family is just departing. Oh, okay. Yeah, anyway, big dance thing going on today, which is great.
Fantastic. Good luck.
Yeah, the little one's just got a huge dance thing going on. So, we don't do good lucks in this house because
No,
you don't need luck if you know what you're doing.
fair enough.
So that's that. Well, they're off. Look what she made this for me. This scarf in the back here, which is good.
Okay. Is it like a tie-dye sort of deal or?
Yeah, it's some sort of dye thing like that. They had a Indigenous folks came into the school and showed them how to do traditional things. It was great.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great and proper. She said I could not understand. They were talking in it was like a different language, like proper. Yeah, so
Mhm.
it was real. Yeah, the real deal, which is great. I love that stuff.
Fantastic.
Yep, beautiful traditions and beautiful heritage, and everyone had a great time. So it's great that she goes to a school that can do that sort of thing as well. Trump, in a phenomenal interview just a few hours ago with the Japanese Prime Minister, who I love.
Mm. Yeah,
That was
she's
the Japanese
great.
Prime Minister, wasn't it? It looked a lot like her, but it was the Japanese Prime Minister commenting on. They asked him why they didn't let them know about what was happening in Iran, and his response was, "Well, surprises. We like to keep these things as a surprise. You of all people know about surprises. Remember Pearl Harbor? You didn't tell me about Pearl Harbor." That's what he said. He said, "You didn't tell me about Pearl Harbor."
How old was he? Yeah, he was alive then, wasn't he? No, I can't remember. Okay,
I,
I think
I
he's
don't
80,
think he was
isn't he?
born in 1942.
So he might have missed out, unfortunately.
42, Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been a remarkable day for crazy headlines. The other headline that I've got going on here now, I'm actually going to look it up when Pearl Harbor was 42, I'm sure. No, 41. Sorry, December 7th, 1941, of course.
Almost.
Yeah, almost there. Yeah, now there's your trivia for the day. And the other one that came up that I put onto the chat, and I'm just going to yank it up here, Muggins, is, let's see if I can share this screen on here for the amazing people. There's share. Yep. Share a screen. Is that, where's it going? There you go. Here we go. It's working. I don't know why my computer is just going very, very slow. You'll see at the moment. I'm going to do a restart. How's that? Is that working? You can see what I'm seeing? If people are going to yeah, it's moving. She's shifting.
Oh, there we go.
JP Morgan
There we go.
offer hedge funds way to short private credit. JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs are reportedly offering ways to short private credit, giving off genuine 2008 GFC vibes. They've assembled baskets of companies with exposure, including alt managers and BDCs.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what a BDC is actually. I don't know that TLA. Owl, which is the one that started all this cacophony, and others are fading on the headline. JP Morgan, yeah. So you can now short private credit. That sounds like something Jordan would put together, doesn't it? Mate, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. And Michael Burry is now rubbing his hands together and loading up as much as he can on this, I think.
I think he's correct as well.
Yeah, I saw the headlines, the same tweet this morning. Yeah, and Burry's just going to be killing himself that he shut down his fund at the end of last year. So
Perfect
it
time.
does give off GFC vibes, but I mean, look, I don't think there's anything too much to worry about in the private equity market at this stage.
Yeah.
The I think a lot of it's already been discounted. Not to say that it couldn't get worse. I mean, it definitely, most definitely could get worse, especially if there's major disruptions in AI and software because, private equity have about a 20 to 25% exposure to software in
Yep.
their portfolios. So if something were to blow up, I think that's where it would blow up. And of course, having a lot of those companies on their books, et cetera, if they can't get them off and realize value, et cetera, then yeah, they're in big trouble. We already saw what is it, Blue Owl or Owl Capital?
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to sell down 1.4 billion worth of assets, but I mean, it seems fairly isolated. I
It's not
did
like
hear about
I don't believe.
The BlackRock thing with redemptions, but I did hear a really good explanation for that. It wasn't anything to do with, the quality of the fund or anything like that. It was something technical. Yeah, I'm not too concerned at this stage. I don't think there's a 2008 event there at the moment.
I am the other way. I hate to be the 2008 guy and bringing that up, but I actually think that if it wasn't for the war in Iran, this would be front page news across start to finish.
Yeah. Yep.
and contagion, because remember, these things only happen when everyone then tries to get their money out at the same time. That's when these things happen. Usually, it's actually not really an issue. The problem is that everyone then just tries to withdraw at the same time. A run on a bank the bank doesn't have the problem. The run is the problem, if you
Yeah.
understand that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
if we remember Silicon Bank,
Right.
Silicon Valley
It's the
Bank.
event.
Yeah.
The bank theoretically could be fine, but all of a sudden everyone tries to get their money out and it's not there. I don't have your money. It's at Bill's house and Bob's house. This is a bank, you know. Thank you, Jimmy Stewart, for everything you've given us. So that's actually not the worst impression that I have. Yeah, I think it would be front page news, and I think that there's contagion going on, more contagion to be done
Mm.
in these areas. The problem with making these things, I mean, private credit. The great thing about private credit is it was supposed to not be mark to market, which means that your family offices and your funds could actually have that sitting in there, and it's all going fine. Market comes off 5 or 10%. This thing it's fine, and then
Mm.
all of a sudden you started putting it into you put it illiquid markets onto the liquid market, wrapped them up and put them into ETFs. Suddenly, all of a sudden, you get marked every day,
Yes.
which is weird, because how do you have an illiquid markets trading onto a liquid market? You can't just sell anyway.
Yeah.
These are private anyway. The whole thing is just insane. All of a sudden, you can see this thing going down. You're not marked to nothing at all. You can't hide these things, and you're suddenly getting marked. And next thing you know, everyone actually can see your underpants. That
Yeah,
was the
exactly.
purpose of private credit. That you
And you got
couldn't.
to say, you got to say that this is isolated to private equity that's investing in companies, etc., the like, especially in IT and tech and that, rather than infrastructure and property and gear like that. It's private equity is a very large array of different assets. So, yeah, we've got to be careful what we're talking about here. But look, I can definitely see the case for a contagion and for something to happen. I just don't think, because I think it's in private equity in the US is really in its infancy. Like, I don't think you can invest in private equity within your 401k still. I know it's been talked about, but
Trump, they are talking about opening
yeah,
that box of words, which is that's exactly
yeah,
the last part of the bag hold. The bag hold, the formal transition of bag hold is finally
yeah.
to the most retail of retail clients, and that's what's going on now. We are seeing that procession now.
You know what I can see happening is later in the year or maybe next year or something, when SpaceX, Anthropic, OpenAI all IPO and come out of these private markets.
Mm.
Maybe that's the top, and maybe we see something happen after that, because it will expose the underbelly. I reckon some of that's hiding some of the bad stuff, because obviously valuations there have been very, very good and demand there has been very, very good. So maybe once they're off those books, or it could save them too. I mean, getting huge injections of cash off your books from the sale of these assets may save them as well. So, yeah, who knows? But I could see an event like that marking the top, a short-term top for the market.
Yep. Yeah, I've noticed too. So I just got a bit of a staffing thing going on here. It has been an absolute wild week for us, onwards and upwards, with some amazing things happening down at the Invest House shop. I will be in Adelaide. It's like I'm announcing tour dates. The Jimmy James Get Angry Australia tour will be moving to Adelaide on April, what did I say, 9th and 10th?
Tickets on sale now.
Tickets on sale now. I will be attending the Reed Corporate Resource Rising Stars thing that's at the convention centre. You guys have a convention centre?
Well, it's a good one. It's
When did
right
that
on
go
the
up?
Torrens.
That's just a new thing.
It's no. It's over 10 years old. It
For
went up. It went up. I think it went up before they redid the Adelaide Oval.
They
So yeah.
redid the Adelaide Oval, and nobody told me.
Hey,
How?
we got buildings that are higher than 3 levels now. So yeah, it's
How do you get the water up there? Just buckets and a
yeah,
pulley.
yeah. So someone's at the top, yeah, pulling buckets up. Yeah, yeah. You want to. It's a long way if you want a glass of water. So yeah, it's a great convention center. I've been there for a few shows and events, and yeah, it's fantastic. It's very modern and whatnot. So yeah, you'll enjoy it there. Actually, I'll have to have a look at the convention itself. I might have to wander in there, see if I can get a ticket or something, and have a look, because yeah, I like the small mid cap end of the resources market. It's a good place to play in, and some money can be made. But yeah, looking
It's
forward to
good.
catching up.
Hang on, they've got a good. I'm actually just going to pull it up here. Resources Rising Star, because we need to be spruiking this as good, and also because I'm going all the way to Adelaide, and I haven't been over to Adelaide for yonks since I was like at ComSec. I think probably ComSec Advisor Stars, ComSec Advisor Services when I was there was the last time I went. Sat in Taylor Collison office.
Taylor Collison on Perry Street. Yep, I remember where they were.
Hey Cole, and then we went to Macquarie, and it was funny talking to Macquarie about what we could do with some of the bits and pieces in amalgamation with them was hilarious because did you know that South Australia was Macquarie's second biggest state office, as in per revenue? You would think it
No, I
would be
didn't.
you'd think it would be Victoria. It was actually no. This came from, I won't say who it was because I don't think it's public knowledge. But this is back 15 years ago, 10 years ago. When was that ComSec? 14, 15, 2014. So about 10 years ago. It was New South Wales, South Australia, Daylight, Victoria.
Yep.
And that's the big surprise. Adelaideans, South Australians, very, very deep, big, old money pockets.
Very old money.
And they pick and they stick that client base over there as well. A lot to be respected out there.
When a company wants to test the market, they come to Adelaide because if you can get it working here, we're the most fickle market in Australia. So you get it working here, you can get it working anywhere. So
Well said. I'm going to yank up the program here, and here. I suggest that everyone please attends this thingy majiggy. Here we go. I'm doing this painful share screen thing again. Actually, I don't need to share screen. Right, the opening. So it all times in with Gather Round.
fantastic.
So this is the Thursday. This is why. I mean, shout out to Red Corporate. It's a great idea, but have you tried booking flights and accommodation in Adelaide when the Crows are at home against Carlton in Gather Round?
Nope.
I'm staying in some shotgun shack, mate. I was hoping to sleep on your couch, mate.
Mate, I could get a blow-up bed going and, got a nice big queen blow-up bed for you there, right there. That's comfy. And
you didn't offer. I put it out there. I said, I'm going to Adelaide. And you're just like, yeah, Joe's the couch. I said, no, I didn't get anything from you, mate. It's South Australian hospitality. All right. Andy and Silver, Sky Metals, Oravel. We had a lunch with them a little while ago. Good gold company. Trek. Great Boulder, that's one that's doing things at the moment. I can see that. Andrew Patterson is presenting there, MD. Insular Energy, that's one I think that you would like.
Uranium.
Chalice, that's one that everyone's been around. That's the town bicycle, that one. Javelin Minerals, best hats in the market. I got that merch from Fremantle. Barton Gold, we're doing a lunch for them in 2 weeks. Alex Scanlon, very, very smart guy. Astral Resources, Bella Vista Resources, Alicanto, and they do a halftime lunch, which is hilarious. Minerals 360. Greenvale is an absolute ripper. Alex Cheeseman in charge of that operation.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn Minerals, Firefly. I spoke to Darren when I was in Fremantle. Firefly I like as well. They got Newfoundland. They got that holdings there.
Great copper asset.
E79, Havilah, Gateway. Havilah I haven't heard from for ages. Was that nickel?
They just did a deal with Sandfire to develop Kalkaroo. So that looks like it's going to get off the ground and finally become a mine.
Havilah was like when I was at Oztalk in 2005. That was probably one of the first.
Yeah, it's been the Kalkaroo deposit's been sitting on 1 million tons of copper for God knows how long. But being out in the middle of nowhere, it's hard to get up and going. But given copper's at $5.50 a pound and looking like going higher, then I think Sandfire will get it up and going.
Okay. Novo, which they've got some good merch as well. Novo's quite a good holding. Arica, Centaurus. I feel like I know Centaurus Metals somehow. Gorilla Gold are doing things at the moment. We've put a lot of stuff on the small cap side of things. It's great. Cheers, a long day. Minerals Exploration, Oceana Metals. Yeah. And then they do a panel, and then they got the Commentators Corner, panel discussion with industry experts. Conference close, and the favorite time, this is Jimmy's time to shine, networking drinks. And so make sure you're at the networking drinks. You're not going to the game, are you?
No, I think it's sold out. I was going to go, and I got sold out. So, because it's not part, because I'm a Crows member, it's not part of the normal membership. So,
Gather Round is excluded from membership. That's brilliant. Yeah. What's the point? It's the one game you really want to go to. It's against Carlton anyway, right? Seriously. So it's you, me, and 16 mates to give them a good run. Carlton Blues at the moment. Yeah. And then the drinks are on, and we're gonna. They've booked out like this really nice bar. They've got it on the big screen. I'm just going to settle in and just watch. That's it. And
fantastic.
I'm staying at the place where I believe an escort was murdered in the hotel that I'm staying in.
Oh, Jesus.
Potentially.
You're not narrowing it down there in Adelaide. I mean,
it's one of 15 places.
If you're a bit longer than 10 years ago, then you had an escort.
I don't like because work is work and taxes are paid and things like that. It's a hard job doing that. It is legitimately, sex work is tough. Mm. Obvious that it's there and people need to be respected in the workplace. And
Yeah. No,
yeah,
we got
it's not.
yeah.
It's to stay in that hotel is going to be hilarious. So I don't know if they put a plaque up about it, but anyway,
Yeah. But yeah, I think we got time for a quick market wrap up
yeah,
because
sure.
we're gonna chat about what's going on over there in the Middle East, etc. So,
What's going on in the Middle
uh,
East?
yeah,
We'll get to that.
exactly. Yeah,
All right.
what's
So
going
yeah,
on?
read corporate, gather round 9th of April. Make sure you lock it in, and then we're going to do a big old fat lunch on Friday. Okay. Now over to Heath Moss with the market wrap. Oh my God, look at that!
Yep, yep. This is the S&P 500, as we all know.
I've avoided watching it.
We can have a look there. Look, I mean, with all the headlines, etc., that's happened, it's not even 6% off its highs. A lot of, I'd like to say, an orderly sell down so far. We have had, some bigger days there. You can see that big red candle there and
Yeah.
a couple here, but it's been fairly orderly. The sell down and a lot of rotation. You're getting a lot of selling of tech, etc., into energy, etc., because obviously everyone was quite energy light moving into this
Yeah.
because the forecasts were for $60 barrel or below for quite some time.
Not me.
But no, not me either. I thought we'd recover a bit, but obviously this changes everything. What's happened over there? So yeah, we've
Yep.
got the S&P 500 off about say 6%, rounding up from its highs. Nasdaq similar. I think it's off about 8%. I haven't done the price range there, but I know that's around 8%. If we go straight to oil, because that's what we all are talking about and concerned about, to me, looks, I mean, what I'm seeing here, I mean, we had Trump and Bessent come out last night and sort of cool fears on the length and duration of this conflict.
Mm.
They were talking, very short term, and getting once that Hormuz Strait is open and safe to go through,
Hormuz.
yeah,
Yes.
Hormuz, then the market's going to look straight past this whole conflict, whether or not they're still firing rockets into Iran or not. If you can get safe passage through Hormuz, then the market's going to look for. And to me, this is looking very toppy on oil. It is. There's a bit of a divergence between this is WTI, this is the US crude oil. If we look at Brent,
Brent's the number, mate. Seriously,
yeah,
it's
Brent's different because Brent is seaborne oil, so is more impacted via all this conflict in Iran, whereas WTI is landlocked in the US. And the US have plenty of oil. They refine all their own fuels, etc. They've got levers to pull, like they've just redacted the Jones Act so that it doesn't have to be a US ship carrying the oil coming into port. Any ship can unload there. So to help with supplies, etc. So they've got a lot of levers they can pull. So, but Brent, we saw Brent get to almost 120 again, last night while we were asleep. And sort of almost a double top there again, back on those percent and Trump comments, about the war simmering down, etc. So, but we did have what fueled this rally in Brent was obviously the attacks from Iran on the Qatar gas fields, and we did see significant damage there. They're saying up to 17% of Qatar's LNG will be offline for 3 to 5 months. 3 to 5 years, sorry, not
3 to
months.
5
3 to
years.
5 years. Yeah, because it takes LNG takes a long time, the infrastructure to build. It took, I think, Woodside to get the, what do you call it, the browse stuff up and going, almost 10 years to get that stuff fully going. So, to repair and whatever, they're saying 3 to 5 years from what I was listening to on podcasts this morning. So gas, so we're coming into this environment now where, even if this thing all simmers down tomorrow, and I said this last time and I've said it in my things, the supply and demand side of oil has changed dramatically. We
Yes.
don't have that supply anymore, even if everything comes back online, because there's been production facilities hit. The Strait of Hormuz will be limited in capacity and getting things in
Hormuz.
and out for a while. I know. I've got my Adelaide dialect going. So things have changed, and I think we'll move from a glut, which was a serious glut in oil, to a deficit now. Which I think longer term, oil will continue to trade in that 80 to 100 zone. The talk of $200 oil, I don't think is going to happen. And the fact that people are spruiking that, I think, signals that, we're pretty close to a top. Unless things escalated further and more production facilities were hit, et cetera, et cetera. But Trump was quickly to come out and apologize and say, hey, Israel weren't, given permission to attack your fields, so you don't have no reason to attack any more fields, et cetera, et cetera. So it was simmered down pretty quickly. But who knows? This is war. This is a conflict, so anything can happen. But I have been last week. I haven't been buying it this week, but last week I was buying fuel. The beta shares energy.
I remember fuel.
Yeah, fuel.
Wow, look at
Fantastic.
that.
That's fantastic. I wish I'd bought it down here at the breakout at the start of the year around $5, but I bought around $8. I think it was $8 I got in,
That's great.
about $8.74. This ETF listed on the ASX from Beta Shares holds all the major energy companies in the world, like your Shells, your Chevrons, your BPs, ex-Australia. So, because obviously we have plenty of exposure to Woodside and Santos, etc. And Woodside was another one. Woodside was another one I was buying. Look at that, 33. What are we? 33.67.
Look at those Woodducks. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, when's the last time we were back up here? That's at what's that? September 23. We're back at these prices. So
Genuine. We are going back into COVID situations here, mate. They're bringing in they're bringing in staggered working arrangements. I reckon New Zealand have brought in a sort of a work from home policy, no driving policy situation. We are doing the same fairly soon. I'm fairly certain.
What I was really surprised with in Australia, we've only got 2 days of diesel stockpiles. I mean, to me, that is
nothing.
That's unforgivable.
Nothing surprises me though.
Auto petrol and that we've got like 30 to 60 days, so we've got plenty there. But in terms of diesel, I mean,
food is going to be crazy. It's not even going to be an expensive thing. It'll be literally you won't be able to get it thing.
Yeah, some stuff. Yeah, some fresh food. Farmers can't get the diesel to put it on trucks to send it into the cities.
Yep.
So that's going to be a problem. Prices will rise. Thankfully, these, if it is a short-term thing, 6 months down the track, things should get back to normal. But, the longer this drags on, the higher petrol prices stay. Like I paid, $2.40 a litre this morning, and I held off as long as I could simply because, if it dropped 20 cents, then, that's better for me, but it didn't. It feeds into everything. In terms of its CPI and inflationary impact, I mean, I've seen a couple of studies from Goldman Sachs saying if it's trading between 90 and 100, it'll add about 50 basis points to CPI in the US. I'd dare say it'd be similar here. So that's significant in the short term. But yeah, the RBA more likely hike again, even though they should be looking through this. Yeah, it's an uncertain situation. That's what markets hate. Although I think that markets are holding up really, really well, all things considered. Because you think about what happened when Russia invaded Ukraine, the S&P 500 dropped 16% within a couple of weeks. It was a bigger fall than what we're seeing now, and that was less of an impact in terms of energy-wise. That was about disruption of about 2 to 3 million barrels of oil a day. All things considered net for this, we're probably about short about 8 million barrels of oil a day because, Saudis and other people are redirecting oil and stuff like that. So they've found other ways to get production up and going.
Yep.
The question is how long it takes for those shale producers in the US to start, putting drill rigs down again and really pumping that oil.
Yeah, those guys I thought could just switch on and off like a basically like a light switch.
I think
the shale stuff.
The concern would be the duration, because if they'd be scared if they'd start putting drills down again and producing that oil comes off if this is a short term thing. But a lot of what the good ones do, they like when oil was 60, 65 or $70 a barrel, which is not profitable. They go halfway down. They don't do the a horizontal drill bit. They just go down and then wait for oil to hit whatever they like, and then they do the horizontal drill. Then simply to save time. So instead of taking 13 weeks to drill it, it'll only take half that maybe.
Okay.
So they set themselves up ready to go that way. So yeah, but it reminds me of that the speech in Landman, which I don't know if you listened to Animal Spirits this week, but they played that and Billy Bob Thornton talking about the price of oil and how $78 is the sweet spot, whereas if you're over $100, it starts impacting people and the prices at the pump and stuff like that. But $78 is the sweet spot for oil, where everyone's making money and it's not impacting people's back pocket at home too much. So
Yeah.
that
I
was
love that
a
scene.
great
I
speech.
love that scene.
If you have a chance, go listen to that speech from Landman. It's a fantastic speech.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, so that's about it. Gold is the other thing we'll just quickly touch upon. I did this green line yesterday, so it's broken down
Well,
well through that. There was a bit of support there at 5,000. It's broken well below that. It's at 650.
yep.
It did go close to 4,500. I think the low on that was 4,505. It looks like oil is new gold, black gold. And people are seeking oil. We're heading into oil for safety rather than gold, because this is not looking good. The chart for gold here, I have to redo my lines, etc., is looking quite weak. That is in part because we have seen a little bit of a stronger US dollar.
It's just the money. It's the money thing, mate.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, look. All right. We're way over time here. Sorry.
We are.
We've been yakking, mate. Seriously, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Beautiful.
I've got a call at 11:30. We've got an intern who's going to be joining us, so
Fantastic.
it's a vetting thing for him. Nothing like free labor.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's it. The US dollar's been stronger, so that's pushed gold back the other way, I think. And I think people have jumped. There's been a bit of rotation out of gold into oil and energy as well. So yeah, but yeah, that's it. That's
All right.
that's
There's
what's been
discounts.
happening.
There is discounts out there if you want them.
Sure are.
Stay there. I'm going to say, and we'll finish with this. We'll talk a bit of a minute of the football, but that guy who sits on the Security Council, the congressman, and I was going to pull it up, but there is a U.S. congressman who his first ever purchase of Exxon was a couple of days ago, and that was literally after the Security Council met, whatever the actual council is that he sits on. He walked out of the room and he bought Exxon. So yeah, the Strait of Hormuz is not getting open anytime soon, right? And I love these things where you can follow the trades of the congressman, because it's so blatantly
The Nancy
inside that it's
Pelosi
not.
index.
But that's it, mate. Who are the Crows got?
A tough one tonight. The Bulldogs at home. So
This is going to be the other really close game. Yeah,
it's going to be. I think betting's both. It's equal way, a 190
it's basically
apiece.
split.
Yeah. So I'm not confident either way. The Dogs look red hot, but we looked extremely good against Collingwood away last week. So look,
That was a robbery.
What do you mean?
Adelaide should have won that.
Oh, we did win it. We did win it by 14 points. Yeah. Adelaide won it by 14 points.
Yeah, that's right. I remember getting myself all psyched up to be pissed off when Collingwood came and won it over them. Okay.
Yep. No, we won. It was our first time we've beaten them at the MCG in over 10 years. I think 10 years, something like that. So, it was a really good game. I was very happy with that, especially, Collingwood tears are always tasty.
Yeah.
But, because we're at home, I'd say Crows by less than a kick. So, yeah. And we saw Sydney last night. I think if you're a Sydney fan, you'd be pretty happy with last night, even though you lost by a couple of goals. Missing your two best players away from home against Hawks, who will be around similar to where Sydney is. So, you can't be too unhappy with that. Good start to the season for Swans. But, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I don't really have anything else. I've already started. I've got my chat is now firing up at me that I need to get.
We better let you go, mate.
Okay, mate. That's been sensational. Have yourself a good weekend, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing you when I'm out there. Stay safe, everyone. Conserve as much as you can. Start hoarding. You know what? Go for it.
sound like my mother-in-law.
Start
Hoard some
hoarding.
stuff.
It's never too early to start hoarding.
I'm
That is what
gonna
I'll
start
leave,
digging
okay?
my bunker in the backyard.
Yeah, which way you gotta put your solar panels. You gotta get the solar panels in the right direction.
Yep, yep.
And there you go. Anyway, okay, look, I gotta go. Have a good one, mate.
Have a good
And I'll
one,
talk to
everyone.
you soon.
See you later, everyone. Bye.